welcome to the first ever episode of the brand new Kerb's Anime Battles YouTube channel. This YouTube channel accompanies the official Kerb's Anime Battle Instagram page. For those of you who do not know, I am Kerb, your host, and we're going to be going over a lot of stuff on this channel. I'll be covering the battles that I do on the page and a bunch of other wacky ones that you guys have requested right here exclusively, and if you would wish, I will in fact shout you out for your request. So yeah, let's just go ahead and take a look at what we've got to do today. So as I just said, one of the main things that I will be doing on this channel is taking some of the requests that I don't really want to do too much research for on the page, where I go in depth and look up actual feats and do the math behind them. Rather, this one is just more of like an observation with some research. However, it won't be as in depth, being as these are some pretty crazy requests you guys have sent me. So the first request that I'm actually going to be going over today is one that my close friend Jordan, and I'll link his Instagram in the description, his request has been in there for a very long time. So let's just go ahead and take a look at what he's requested for us. Already jumping into it, we're going to go ahead and head on to our first battle, which is going to be Thanos versus Steppenwolf. This is a pretty interesting one, I'm not even going to lie here. So originally I was going to go into doing the comic versions of both until I realized Thanos is just going to absolutely wipe the floor with him. So I decided to make it a little bit more fair this time around and easier on me, because this is just one that came out of the blue. I don't really know how to describe just how taken back I was by the request of this battle. I was saying, well, one in the movies, one was in fact, fighting the Justice League, and the other one was the final threat to the Avengers. So, I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and see what I can do with this one. So to understand how this is going to work, I was debating on whether or not I should give Thanos any or if all of the Infinity Stones, but I don't really think I'll be doing that, because if I give him all of that, the battle's just over within the snap of a finger, as you all should know. So what I'm thinking is, should I give Thanos the Infinity Stones, and how many? So I'm thinking most of his most impressive feats came from when he actually did have them, such as, if you can remember, when he tore apart the moon and started throwing chunks at it towards Iron Man in the battle on his home planet. So that's one thing. However, he does have a few other feats without the Infinity Gauntlet from Endgame, but that was like a past version of himself. So that's a little interesting to mention right there. He had a sword. He did a lot of interesting things with the sword. He was able to break vibranium with the sword. Now, I don't know if that's actually within his actual strength, or if it's within the properties of the sword. I don't actually have any idea if they even clarified that. I just think, well, maybe he was just so strong he broke it. It could just be that he was using a metal that can counteract the effects of vibranium. Again, not really sure. But there's that. Now, on the other hand, we had Steppenwolf, who by himself was able to pretty much just manhandle everybody in the Justice League until Superman came along. This includes, at the same time, he was taking out Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Now, Aquaman and Wonder Woman in the DCEU are not nearly as impressive as they are in the comics, but there's a few things that I can try to list for them and try to understand where Steppenwolf is right here. One of the more impressive opponents that Steppenwolf fought on screen was Wonder Woman in the DCEU, of course. So Wonder Woman in the DCEU was obviously not as strong as Superman, because if you can remember, after Superman was barely resurrected, he pretty much was wiping the floor with everybody. The only person who really withstood much a chance was in fact Wonder Woman. Now, as we all know, that didn't end too well. I don't think she was using her full power, and I don't think he was either. So either way, I feel like even if they both took it to the extremes, I feel like the result would remain the same. So that being said, the fact that even when she was pretty much going all out and didn't actually win against Steppenwolf in fact was fighting the both of them, including Wonder Woman going all out and Aquaman. At the same time, we get a pretty good idea of how strong he really could be. Now, if we're talking about levels, that's a different thing, because usually when I determine levels of power, such as, building level and large island level, I usually like to look at the math and the numbers behind it. I don't really get to do that right here because I'm just going to speak my honest mind about it right here, because this is just a really crazy battle. So if I can remember correctly, I know that Wonder Woman, like, you know, destroyed the top of a church or something. I don't know where to place that. I haven't actually done any math or research on that. If I had to take a good guess, it would probably be around small building level. Nothing too big, but then again, she did actually get a lot more powerful than that, because obviously, you know, there's some plot-induced BS. So there was that we had to work with. But other feats, I don't really know too much for Wonder Woman. While it may not be easy for me to understand where Steppenwolf is in strength, it may actually be easier for me to understand where he isn't, because he's below Superman. One of the things Superman was able to do was move aside a tectonic plate to stop an earthquake. Now, this wasn't on screen, this was actually just taken out of context on a newspaper headline that you can actually clearly see. I should have the image up right here. So it says right there that he just pulled aside a tectonic plate. I don't know if this is just casual or not. It doesn't really say if it is or isn't. But that's something. So he's not tectonic plate level. I don't really know where to put that. If he's trying to like hold aside an oil rig, could be at the very minimum large island level, and at its highest it could probably be up to like country to continental. However, I don't really see him being that strong in the DCEU. He's a really watered down version of Superman. So there's that. That's where Steppenwolf isn't. So he isn't actually in the large island levels whatsoever. If anything, could probably be island level. There's just a thought. So there's that. And now this makes it a little easier for me to determine who's stronger. So we have Thanos. Like I said, he was able to break vibranium with the swing of his sword. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and assume, for the sake of this battle, because I don't remember that sword doing anything else mind-bending or crazy, except for, you know, cutting the vibranium. I'm going to go ahead and assume that Thanos himself was strong enough to break the vibranium without the Infinity Stones. That's impressive, being as in the first Avengers movie, Thor used Mjolnir to crash down a heavy, all-out blow on Captain America's shield, and it did absolutely nothing. This same hammer, which was able to fight against the full power of the Ether, which Malekith was going to use to destroy the 9 realms. So not even the power of 9 realms could destroy Captain America's shield, but Thanos could. Could this possibly be due to the fact that he was using a blade and not a blunt force object like a hammer? Possibly. Regardless of that, not even bullets were able to do anything to the shield. There was literally no scratches, no signs of tarnish or anything. So the fact that Thanos is able to just chop this son of a bitch in half is crazy. Like, actually really crazy. So, that being aside, do I think Thanos on his own has the ability to destroy the 9 realms? That's a stretch. With the stones, most definitely. With the, the fucking Reality Stone is able to do that by itself. Who knows what the Power Stone is actually fully capable of? Aside from that, I still feel as though Thanos would actually be stronger through that feat, even without the Infinity Stones, and I still don't even know whether I'm going to give it to him or not. From what it seems like, he might not even need the Infinity Stones. As far as speed goes for the both of them, that's a really good question. I don't really have barely any speed feats for Steppenwolf, like at all, except for the fact that he was able to fight off Wonder Woman and Aquaman at the same time. Where they are in speed, hell if I know. But I'll tell you what, I actually severely doubt that they are anywhere as fast as what Thanos was able to do. I remember in one of the final battles for Endgame, Thanos was able to use his sword to just spin it around and completely deflect and negate the repulsor beams of Iron Man. Now, in the MCU, they don't actually explain how fast the repulsor beams are at all. Are they as fast as they are in the comics? I can't say. Even if they are or if they aren't, they're still actually ridiculously fast, and I think a lot faster than anything, because the version he was using was the Bleeding Edge armor. The Bleeding Edge armor being one of his most advanced armors known to Iron Man itself. So the Bleeding Edge armor, with the advancements in the repulsor technology, could in fact be as fast as they are in the comic books. And one of the comic books, one of the scans clearly states that his lasers are light speed. That's interesting. So, are they light speed in the movies? I have no proof of this, but I wouldn't doubt it if they are. With the advancements that he's made since the first Iron Man movie, I would not doubt that they are actually light speed. Again, I have no proof of this, but I actually would not doubt that they aren't anything. I mean, they're comparable to the lightning Thor can throw out, and as we all know, lightning is massively hypersonic plus. So definitely able to keep on par with lightning by Age of Ultron, and they got way, way more powerful and, I guess, a lot faster by, like, Infinity War and Endgame. So there's that to work with. So Thanos is able to react to that, and then he's able to take immense punishment from everybody. He's taking, like, beatings from everybody. He took, like, a whole bunch of hits from Captain America using Mjolnir. A lot of them, like, everywhere. He even took, like, a full-on blast of electricity from it. And then gets up, cuts the shield. He then proceeds to cut the shield after he's been beaten by this hammer that is used by a god. Except now it's being used by Captain America. He's got beaten by a god's tool, and is now able to just get back up and cut a shield. His durability and stamina and endurance are insane. Okay, and even then, at the end of the fight, he's still able to, like, after being tormented and crushed by Scarlet Witch, he was still able to fight off Captain Marvel, who just got there and barely did anything. She was saving a lot of power and trying to steal the power of the stones to use it against him. At least that's what I can take from speculation. I know she can absorb power. It looked like she may have been absorbing the power of the stones. Who knows? I don't know. But even then, even after all of the stuff that's happened to him, so beaten by a hammer and beaten up by Scarlet Witch and by Thor and Iron Man and Captain America, even prior to all of this, his durability and stamina and endurance are just insane. And even by the end of it, he was just more relieved. It didn't even sound like he was too exhausted when he put on the gauntlet. He was just like, I am inevitable, right? And you know how that worked out. So, obviously his durability can't protect him from being erased from existence, as shown from the Infinity Stones. However, it should be noted that the only thing that Steppenwolf has that is powerful, like, besides just raw strength, is his electric axe, which can be quite deadly if left unchecked. However, the electric axe doesn't really do too much to negate durability as a whole if you're just really tough. Like Thanos is. Thanos took, like, straight up thunderbolts of gods to the face. I doubt that Steppenwolf's electric axe can do a single thing to that. Look, this being said, again, I'm usually just doing this off of pure memory. I'm not pouring hours of research into this like I usually do. But I can pretty much trust my memory. I know I haven't seen these movies in forever. I'm not going to watch Justice League ever again because that movie was just hot garbage. I watch Endgame quite a lot, so I can definitely tell you about Thanos' feats in the MCU. Other than that, I really don't even think that Thanos needs the Infinity Stones for this battle, like, at all. I don't think he would need them. I feel like the sword that he has is just enough already. I don't think Steppenwolf's electric axe can do a single thing to him, since Thanos can just stand back up after taking thunderbolts of lightning from the gods of all things to the face and just get up, and there's just no issue with it. Proceed to cut vibranium, you know the rest. So where do I think this battle is going to go? Honestly, I don't see Steppenwolf winning this at all. I can probably tell you this right now, I don't think Steppenwolf from the DCEU, or even in the comics, could do anything to Thanos. Like, at all. That's just undisputed if you ask me. I actually believe that Thanos is a lot stronger, as from the feats that I mentioned. He's faster. He's definitely a lot tougher. Okay, he's definitely much tougher. So that much I can tell you. So as to, like, a final verdict, I feel like in the end, Steppenwolf might not be that big a challenge. I feel like he would be a mild challenge for Thanos. Thanos might use him as, like, a training dummy by the end of it. Even if I don't even think he trains. I just think he's that fucking badass. So, there's that. So yeah, final verdict. I feel like Thanos is the winner. MCU Thanos would probably just spank the shit out of Steppenwolf from the DCEU. And probably even in the comics too, because the Steppenwolf in the comics doesn't really do too much whatsoever. Like, I think I tried to look it up one time for a battle a while ago. I can't really find much. I don't have much to offer for that. So there's that. That's my first battle that I've decided to cover on the official Kerb's Anime Battle YouTube page. So there's that you have to work with. So I'm sure if you guys have anything else to say, like any other feats that I could possibly have missed, I'm sure you guys are going to tell me. You guys love to tell me in the comment section on my page. By the way, thank you very much for the positivity that I've been getting on the page, by the way. I don't really get to say this a lot. I know I tend to pour my heart out a lot in the captions a lot, but I get to tell you this right now, face to face with my own voice. Thank you very much for the positivity. I know people don't really spread negativity. There's been a few exceptions though, and you know who you are. You're just a bunch of shitheads. If you have anything else that I've missed, please, I'm here to listen. I can revise anything at any given moment. So, oh, by the way, I just finished doing Ryuga versus Natsu on my page, so I would actually really recommend you go and check that out, because I feel like a lot of you sleep on the power of Beyblade. And I mean a lot of you sleep on the power of Beyblade. There's a lot of power in Beyblade. I'm not going to spoil who wins if you don't know who it is. If you're here, you probably already have seen it. A lot of people have seen it by now. I posted it earlier today. So then there's that. So go ahead and check out my page if you haven't. And stay tuned for this, because I'm going to be doing a lot of videos like this. It could be weekly, it could be bi-weekly, I don't even know. I'll just upload it whenever the hell I feel like it. And I feel like I can actually cover more than one battle per video. I feel like I can do that. I can do maybe 2 or 3, depending on what they are. This one, I just decided to go a little bit more in depth to show you, just what I'm going to be doing around here. So then there's that to work with. So anyways, I don't mean to drag this out much longer. I thank you for making it this far. If you did, I know this might be a bit of a longer video than you typically watch on YouTube. I know it's far past 10 minutes, but I do feel like I wanted to get a good point across, especially since this is my first impression on a YouTube channel. So I decided to just go all out on this one. I'm going to be a lot more casual. I'm going to be doing a lot of other stuff on here. I will be mostly focusing on battles, but I'll be doing a bunch of podcasts and a lot of friendly debates. I'm going to have a lot of friendly debates on here. You get to see a whole lot of faces besides mine. And there's going to be a lot of fun stuff that you get to watch here, so I do beg you to stay tuned. And if you haven't, I would go ahead and subscribe if I were you. Things can only get better from here. And I can assure you that they're only just going to get better from here. So thank you very much for lasting this far. One more time, do go ahead and check out my page. Go check out Natsu versus Ryuga. Tell me what you think. You can, and if you have any requests, I heavily enforce the please send request quota. I really want you to send me your requests, because I would love to cover them on either here or on Instagram. I'll be covering a lot of the ones that I like the most on Instagram, because I can do a lot of research on them. If you have a bunch of crazy ones, like I know I've been getting Squidward versus Benson, I'll cover that here. I'll do that here. Just send me the request and I'll cover it. Anyways, that's really all I have to say. I'll just see you guys in the next video. So yeah, thank you for lasting this far. Adios amigos.